Hi, today I'm going to take you through making chili, and I am going to use the Chilli Con Carne recipe from the NHS Food and Health kit. So for this, you need 500 grams of lean mince. So I have the 5% fat mince from Tesco's. 1 onion, 1 clove of garlic, a tin of chopped tomatoes, a tin of kidney beans, which I'm not using because I don't like them, vegetable stock, some mushrooms, red and green pepper, chilli powder, ground cumin and tomato puree. So I am just going to get started now. After I wash my hands, I have my equipment out and all my ingredients out that I need, so I'll just wash my hands and then we'll be ready to start. So I've just put the cooker on, the ring on to number 4 just to heat it up, and I shall pop the mince in there, and while I am browning the mince I will cut up my vegetables. So the mince is in the pot now, and I'm just going to chop it down. Or break up the mince as it says in the instructions. I chop it. So I'm just going to leave that to heat up, and we'll keep checking on it and keep stirring it so it doesn't stick and so it doesn't burn. So I'm using a red onion because I like a red onion in my chilli. So I'm just going to cut the end off and take off the skin. Okay, so I have my onion. I've still got the root on because that holds it together, so I'm going to slice it so that is prepared and ready to go in, and I'll pop it in a bowl until it's ready to go into the mince. So to cut the onion, you hold it over and you put the knife in through it like it's going under a bridge, and just slice. Or slice it the way that you feel comfortable doing. Okay, onion chopped. I'm going to do the peppers. I've actually got them already de-seeded because I was using them the other day. So it says here use red and green. I think I might just use red. So I'm just going to chop up my red pepper. going to give the mince a stir now. It's starting to brown. Just going to stay tidy as I cook and put my food waste in the food waste bin. Now the recipe says add a handful of mushrooms. I quite like mushrooms, so I might put in more than a handful, but just put in however many you wish. Or if you don't like mushrooms, don't put mushrooms in. I'm just going to dice the mushrooms up. So once the mince is browned, you can start adding all the other ingredients in because we'll have it already. It's best not to wash mushrooms before you use them in food because it makes them go quite slimy. But if you want to, you know, get the black bits off and stuff, just dry it with kitchen towel, or you know, brush it off with your fingers. So I've got my mushrooms ready, so I'll pop them in the bowl with my other vegetables. Again, food waste. Sometimes take the stalks out of the mushrooms if they're too big. And a clove of garlic. I quite like garlic flavouring, so it's quite a big clove of garlic. So there's a couple of ways that you can cut garlic, and it depends if you've got a garlic press or not. So I do actually have a garlic press, so what I'll do is cut the ends off and take the skin off and put it in the garlic press. Or you could flatten it with a knife, which I'll do because I'm going to put 2 cloves in, so I'll show you the other way as well. Okay, and I'll give the mince another stir. Might find there's still some clumps, so if you just break it up with the spoon. It's still browning, almost there though, and because it's the 5% fat one, there's hardly any fat in the bottom of my pot. So I have another piece of garlic here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten it on the chopping board with the knife. And then you just need to peel the skin off. actually that one doesn't look very nice, so I think I'll put that in the bin and get another one. So again, I just flattened it with the knife. This is a garlic press. So pop that in there. And so the mince is looking all nice and brown now, so I'm just going to squeeze the garlic straight into the mince. And I'm actually going to add some mixed herbs as well, because I usually do that. You can add in what you like, but or what you have in your cupboard, but I do like a wee bit of herbs in mine. So the garlic, you just put the garlic clove in and press, and it comes through, and it saves having chunky bits of garlic in. Or if you don't like the garlic in, what you could do is just put the whole cloves in and then take them out at the end, and then it's just giving it flavour. And then what's left in the bottom, you just scrape out and put in your food waste. And that is done. Right, I'm going to put the kettle on to boil now for the stock. So I'm just mixing that in. It's looking really good. No fat, didn't have to drain it, no burnt bits, and all brown. So I'm just going to add in my vegetables. So I have red onion, red pepper and mushrooms. I can't wait for tea tonight now. Just need to decide if I'm going to have rice with it or a baked potato. Stir that in, and now I am going to add in a tin of chopped tomatoes, chopped tomatoes. I usually buy the ones with the herbs, so extra herby as well, because I added my own. And then usually I just give the tin a swirl about with water and tip it in. Not too much though, it's just to get the sauce off the side. Because we will be adding stock. Okay. So that is all mixed up. Tomatoes all mixed in, and the next thing to add is the tomato puree. So it is 3 tablespoons of tomato puree. So you can use your tablespoon, which is just your spoon you would eat your breakfast with, or you could use a measuring spoon. So I'm going to use a measuring spoon. 3 tablespoons of tomato puree. So 1, 2, 3. And then put that back in the fridge. Next thing to add is the chili powder and the cumin. So again, you can use your teaspoon or measures if you have measures. So it is 1.5 teaspoons of chili powder. My chili powder is hot, but I like that, so okay, and it's actually 3/4 of a teaspoon of cumin. It doesn't matter if some of it spills out like what mine's just did, but it depends if you've made it before. If you like it spicy, you can always add to it if it's not spicy enough for you. And I'll give that a mix in. And the last thing to do is to add the stock. So I'm just going to boil the kettle. I have a stock cube and I'm going to pour 500 millilitres into my measuring jug. And I shall mix it with fork to make sure it's all dissolved, and then I'll pour it in. So the kettle's popped, 500 millilitres, which is half a pint, and your measuring jug should be able to show you that. So you've got half a pint. Actually, no, it's more like 3/4 of a pint. I do apologise. You can always add to it if it's too thick. Okay, so I'm just going to add that in, and I am going to give that a final mix and put the lid on, turn it down to number 3 and simmer it for 30 minutes. I'm going to put my timer on so that I remember.